So today we're going to be talking about the second book in the Darkest Mind Trilogy, series, whatever you want to call it, called Never Fade, again by Alexandra Bracken. So I'm going to give a short summary in case you haven't read this book yet. Again, I'm going to try my best to keep it spoiler-free, but no promises. And if you haven't read The Darkest Mind, the first book, you should totally read that book and watch that review before you come on over and watch this review for Never Fade. So here's my short summary. So Never Fade starts 6 months after where The Darkest Mind ended. As you know, in The Darkest Mind, she's with the Children Legends now. Liam is doesn't really know Ruby anymore, and Chubbs got shot, and so they're all separated and not together. So when the book first starts out, Ruby, to me, felt like a whole new different person. And I feel like she is a whole new different person in the very beginning of the book. And then, as it goes on, she's still that different person, but you kind of see the same elements of who she was in the first book, which I kind of liked. So she's at the Children Legends, and we get to meet Cole, Liam's brother, and he sends Ruby on this opt, which is basically like an assignment type thing that they do that's kind of risky. It's like going out into the real world without being caught and being pulled back into camps. Probably not explaining that correctly or clearly, but I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so Cole, Liam's older brother, sends Ruby on this opt to find Liam because Liam has some intel and a flash drive with him, and they need to get it back to help shut down the camps. So that's kind of what their goal is. So when they find Liam, they see that he is really sick. And he also doesn't remember Ruby because Ruby erased his mind, but he remembers some elements of her. One day, he actually remembers who she is to him, and it shocks her and kind of scares him that he remembers her. And then shortly after that, they meet up with Clancy. I shouldn't say meet up, they kind of approach Clancy, and he shares some information with them about what's going on at the Children Legends headquarters and kind of makes them go back there in such a big hurry. When they went back there, they realized that Clancy was lying, shocking, but there was still something going on at the Children Legends, just not what Clancy was saying. So after their arrival at Children Legends really happening, they stick around and let everything kind of smooth over until they get hit with a bomb and that explodes the whole Children Legend headquarters. And then everything starts to crumble again because nothing can go smoothly or end easily for Ruby or anyone in her life. So that was my little summary for Never Fade. Now, let's talk about my favorite character. My favorite character is Jude, who is yellow and also this optimistic kind of guy. Also, why I really like him a lot is because on the first day, the Child Legends, he goes and sits with Ruby and kind of helps her out. He's not afraid of her like the agents are and other people. He actually sits with her and makes sure feels welcome. That's kind of how I take it. So Jude goes with Ruby on this opt to find Liam and the intel. And she first doesn't want him to go because his mind kind of drifts away sometimes. But I think she's kind of glad he went in the end. But anyway, throughout the whole process of trying to get Liam and even the beginning when you learn about how Ruby was training and how people are treating her, he was always there for her and he was always nice to her and just trying to be her friend. He is younger than her, so I think she just kind of felt like he's just this annoying little brother of hers. That's kind of how I took their relationship. But anyway, Jude was just always nice and always tried to find the bright side of things, even when things around him started to crumble. Now, my least favorite character is Rob. You meet Rob in the first book, and I'm going to say it because this is not a spoiler if you read the first book. You read Rob in the first book, and when Ruby finds out that he killed children, that's when she makes her break for it. And I thought, to be honest, I thought Rob was going to be my least favorite character in the first book, but then I met Clancy, and we all know how I just hate his guts. So in this book, my least favorite character is Rob because he's kind of the center of the attention. He doesn't take over for Clancy. Clancy's still my least favorite character, but Rob is definitely up there. He is a soldier, and he is an aide for Children Legends, and basically what he wants to do to the Children Legends, he wants to turn the kids that are at the Children Legend that's supposed to be for safety, he wants to turn them in for the prize, and which is money when you ever turn in a kid with IAN, which is the disease. And so I just don't like him. So this next session might be a little spoiler, like it was in my last video and the Never Fade view. We are talking about the ending and how did I like it. And so I'm going to try my best to keep it spoiler free, but there are no promises, and 9 out of 10 I probably will break that and tell you some spoilers. Not an accident, it's just gotta share. Alright, so how did I like the ending of Never Fade? Well, for this one, I just didn't expect it. I didn't expect the building to have a bomb on the building. Like, I didn't expect that. Yeah, I just didn't expect it. But what I'm really happy is, and what I did kind of see coming, is that Liam and Chubbs do stay with the Children Legends, or what it is now, I should say, after the bombing, even though they want to leave it. Well, even though their plans, I should say, were to leave the Children Legends as soon as they basically delivered Ruby and the intel. But they decided to stay from the bombing. And to be honest, I think if there wasn't a bombing on the Children Legends headquarters, then Chubbs and Liam wouldn't be there. They would be off and elsewhere, and they'd all be split again, and my heart would not be able to take it. But they decided to stay, which I really like. Well, they kind of have to stay, I should say. What I didn't like, though, in the ending is, this is going to definitely be spoiler. I'm sorry. Skip it or get off this video. I'm sorry. What I didn't like in the ending is when Liam and Chubbs went back into the building to find Jude, because he was nowhere in sight where all the kids and agents were that had survived from the bomb. So Liam and Chubbs go back into the building, and when they come back, they didn't have Jude, and so Ruby kind of puts pieces together. Liam explains to her that they only found his shoe, they couldn't get him, and that he was dead. And then also what made me really mad about this is that Clancy, because he was also in the building, he lived. He freaking lived through this, but guess what? Jude died. Like, I don't really get that. Like, why couldn't the jerk, the rude person, die? And then why couldn't the nice, optimistic, always tries to find the bright side character, Jude, stay alive? Like, I couldn't believe that part. Clancy gets to live, but Jude gets to die. I didn't like that part. Now for my thoughts and my opinions on the book overall. Well, to start off, when you first dive into the book, it's a little confusing, but not really. Like, you know it's from Ruby's perspective, but you're just like, is this the same Ruby that I just finished reading? Like, this Ruby's a whole new person. And so you see her in an opt, and it's just like, she is a whole new person, like a whole different Ruby and a whole new character that we just finished reading. It's like, this is a whole new character. Who is this? Since it does dive right into this new Ruby, you kind of wonder, like, what happened to Ruby that made her like this new character that we're basically reading about? So it can get a little confusing at first with that. And the second chapter, or third chapter, I think, I don't remember exactly which one, but it does go back to the beginning of, like, right after she left Liam and how she was treated, how she was welcomed, who her teammates were. It kind of goes back and tells you how the old Ruby turned into this new Ruby that we're reading about. For the overall book, I do like how it shows how she's this new character, this new Ruby, I should say, and then how she interacts with Cole. I was thinking, though, like, no, you better not do anything with Cole, because you and Liam are supposed to be together. And so, which they don't, and I'm so happy for that. But when Cole kind of sends her off on this mission, I was kind of wary, I guess you could say, about what's going to happen when she does find Liam. Like, how is he going to interact with her, because she doesn't remember her. And so I kind of like the element, even though this is going to be kind of rude to say, I liked how the element that he was sick, and I know it's kind of rude, and I love Liam and everything, but like, I think if he was fully healthy, I think the book could have gone in a totally different direction. But since he was sick and then, like, recovering, I kind of like how he recognized Ruby. He realized who Ruby was after he's healed completely and, like, not sick anymore. And I kind of like how it all happened. The one plot event that I didn't really like, oh, that's interesting, but, like, now I see it kind of worked, is the plot event with Clancy. Like, maybe it's just because I hate Clancy, but, like, have a clicker type thing, and they're communicating with Kate, and they get a message that they can tell is not from her. And so when they meet with this mysterious person, it turned out to be Clancy, and, like, how he found information from this one dude that's already back at the Chiller Legend. It's just, like, that one was a little hasty to me. I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird. Like, how they have to be in a rush back, but, like, shouldn't they already be in a rush back because they got the intel? Like, I don't know. I don't really understand why that plot point was in, but then at the same time I see it, but, like, I just don't really understand why it was in there. And then again, my last plot point that, like, I was like, really why this was the ending, how Jude died, and Clancy basically walked away without a scrape. And even though I know he had some scrapes and everything, but, like, I just felt like he kind of walked away without any scrapes, and Jude just, died. That's the plot point at the very end. I'm like, did we really have to introduce Clancy back? No, but you did. But why? Alright, you guys, so that's it for my review for the Never Fade, the second book in the Darkest Mind series. If you have read this series, or you've read the first book, or the second book, let me know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comments down below, because I'd love to know, and we can talk about this amazing book. If you haven't read this book, you should totally read the series, because it's a great series, and guess what? They're making movies for this series, which is really cool. And Jen, you should follow me on all my social medias, links down below, and on my Instagram and Pinterest, I am doing Weird Wednesday. Weird Wednesdays are just there to make you smile, laugh, or chuckle, or just scroll by and roll your eyes. I don't really know. But those are on my Instagram and Pinterest. I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you're having a wonderful day, and bye!